And the more I tried to stop, the more pressure it created. So I stopped trying.
You know that feeling, right? That quiet, kind of uncomfortable moment after you've spent more than you meant to. Well, today, we're going to take a look inside a new workbook that comes at this feeling from a completely different angle. Not with judgment or a bunch of strict rules, but with, well, with calm curiosity. Okay, so let's get into it. This is the Stop Overspending Workbook by Alex Veylor. We're going to explore the core ideas in here and see how this really gentle approach might just offer a whole new way to think about how and why we spend. The book starts by dropping us right into that all too familiar moment. It's not a lecture, it's just a simple recognition. You picked up your phone to do one thing, and now, well, now something else has happened. And then everything just slows right down, holding on that specific moment. Maybe you're staring at the confirmation email or looking at a shopping bag you barely remember carrying inside. The book meets you right there, in that exact feeling. And this is where it really hits home, describing the physical, emotional reality of it all. That tightness, that little bit of quiet panic. By starting here, the workbook immediately validates your experience. It basically says, hey, I get it. You're not alone in this. And that leads us to the book's really profound central message, which is a total reframe of the entire problem. I mean, a complete reframe. The book argues it's not about what you did wrong, but about understanding why that action made perfect sense to your brain in that moment. So here's the thing. Right from the start, the book just lifts that heavy, heavy weight of shame and self-blame. It makes the case that this cycle has nothing to do with you being bad with money or not having enough discipline. Now, what's so powerful about this slide is how clearly it shows the shift in thinking. Instead of seeing overspending as some kind of moral failure, the workbook reframes it as a learned coping mechanism, a stress response. Your brain was just looking for a little bit of relief, and it took a shortcut it already knew, a route that has probably brought a little comfort before, even if just for a second. So, if it's not about forcing yourself to stop, what's the alternative? This brings us to the book's central idea, something it calls the pause. And this isn't some harsh tool you have to master. It's more like a space for gentle observation. So, the pause is defined as that tiny little gap that already exists between the urge to do something and the action itself. Your thumb hovering over the buy button, that moment right before you click. It's not something you have to create out of thin air. It's a space you can just start to notice. And this is so, so important. The book is really clear about what the pause isn't. It's not another thing for you to fail at. It's not a test of your willpower. Just noticing the pause doesn't mean you're now responsible for using it correctly. This totally removes the pressure that comes with most self-control techniques. It's a game changer. Okay, so how do you explore these ideas? Well, here's the cool part. This isn't just a book you read. It's an interactive workbook, and it's designed to make these concepts personal and real, without adding any more pressure to your plate. The whole format is built around this idea of noticing, not fixing. It creates this safe space for you to just observe your own patterns without feeling this immediate need to correct them. Think of it like your own private lab for a little pressure-free exploration. And here's a little peek at what that actually looks like. You've got these gentle exercises like the landscape map, where you just circle familiar moods or times of day related to spending, not to analyze, just to see. Or micro comforts, which is an optional space to list other small things that bring you comfort. Every single page is designed to be easy, optional, and incredibly kind. So you might be thinking, okay, this sounds interesting, but what do I have to do? Where do I even start? The book answers this with the exact same gentle, permission-giving language it uses all the way through. Honestly, this is one of the most powerful lines in the whole introduction. The book doesn't ask you to change a single thing right away. It doesn't demand some huge commitment. It just says that reading, just taking in these ideas, that is a perfectly valid and complete first step. There's no pressure to do anything else. So, if this gentle, non-judgmental approach sounds like the shift in perspective you've been looking for, you can start that journey right now. The Stop Overspending Workbook is available. And maybe the most important question it leaves us with is this. What if the first step toward change isn't force, but just a little bit of kindness?